Hello and welcome. David Politis here, Silicon Slopes Conversations. We're here today with a new friend, Shai Lustgarten, who is the CEO and I think I could say founder of a company called OMNIQ. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm excited to learn more about OMNIQ. Now, Shai, you're originally from Israel, correct?
Right, correct.
And how is it that you ended up in the United States?
About 6.5 years ago, I was actually running a company in Israel that did a lot of driver behavior software and hardware. And our main market was the US. And what we did is when I was kind of the first thing I did when I was running it was to acquire one of our competitors who ended up being here.
Okay.
In Salt Lake City.
In Utah?
In Utah.
Okay.
And
what company was that?
Micronet.
Micronet. Okay. So you acquired Micronet.
We uplisted it to NASDAQ, and we
Okay.
acquired the competitor of Micronet, who was here in Salt Lake City. And that's how we relocated, me and my family, because you can't remote control a business from Israel.
No.
So we did good. It was nice.
So this is a little different than Israel.
It is a lot of things are very different. A lot of things are very similar. For example, like the Jordan River and the Salt Lake and
Our own Dead Sea.
Exactly. So
Right.
there's and the people are so welcoming and know a lot about Israel as well and Judaism. So kind of felt coming. First thing we felt was very welcoming and very warm, and the whole family got adjusted to it very quickly.
Yeah, I tell people we don't have an ocean.
Yeah.
We don't have the National Football League or Major League Baseball, but everything else we have, and we have 4 seasons, and it's a great place to raise a family.
It is.
So you're here. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So you have this company, OMNIQ. You're listed on NASDAQ, so publicly traded. And I suspect that most members of the Silicon Slopes audience have never even heard of OMNIQ, in part because you're so focused on the markets that you're going after. Give me like 30, 45 seconds. What is it that OMNIQ does? What products or services do you offer? And then we'll dive in a little deeper into those and how they all kind of fit together.
We believe in machine-to-machine solutions that create automation. Basically take the touch of a man in the process of doing of solving things or creating of any action. For example, in a warehouse, if you can eliminate the scanning process, you can eliminate a lot of actually errors that happen, millions of dollars of error, tens of millions of dollars for Fortune 500 companies. That type of automation, machine to machine, also can happen and create a lot of automation and great efficiencies in safe cities, smart cities, traffic management, etc. We believe in that. And what we do is we created algorithms, what we call the engine, that does image processing and identify objects. And we train that engine for different objects, depending on the application we want to create out of it. For example, in traffic management, so the first thing that we did is we had trained the engine to identify vehicles, and but not like other companies that today can do that, but they focus on license plate recognition. That's why it's called LPR mostly. We do the vehicle make, color type, model. We create through our machine learning process, we create so many credentials, what we call credentials, that help us to identify an object and bring it to the 97% and up, 99 point, we call it 6 nines accuracy at about 20 milliseconds. And that's how we identify vehicles, and we can this way tell you who's driving on this road. You can create a lot of applications out of it. We today can count passengers inside a vehicle, so not only security but also HOV
That means that you
enforcement.
can actually identify when they've got the inflatable doll sitting
We
in the
can-
passenger seat.
we can
You know
distinguish
that
between
that's
human.
Emily over
And
there.
that's a good example, because in office, in order to enforce HOV regulations, for example, and no one does that today, but the only way to do that would be to have an officer every single 1,000 feet and stop vehicles and try to look very quickly inside the vehicle if there's two persons and up, or if they are registered or not, if they bought permit to drive in the high occupancy vehicle lane. We do this through a machine, again, eliminated the need for a man in the process, and created a machine vision situation where we can identify that through a camera.
Interesting. So there's machine to machine is part of what you're doing. You mentioned this idea of, you didn't use the term artificial intelligence, but there's artificial intelligence. As I did my research before, we visited
a lot of artificial intelligence. I'm sorry for cutting it, but the only reason why I'm not using that is everyone uses it. And
right. It becomes almost cliche.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, it's software that helps to compress the amount of time required to do a thing, right, to get an outcome. And over time, if you're smart about how you do that, then you actually get data and you can get smarter about making decisions, predicting what's going to happen.
That's
correct?
AI to us.
Correct.
Exactly. To us, AI is to be able to generate enough data to identify trends. These trends, the analytics, can create the next gen products, the next gen actions that come out of these trends to actually, do forecasting, to tell the future, right? I mean, because when you can identify the trends with a lot of amount of data, you could actually, ahead of time, depending on the use case, you can really predict what's going to happen next. And this way even become, like you said, smarter and be more efficient. And today we focus on 3 markets. The first one is supply chain automation.
Right.
The second one is traffic management. And the third is smart cities / safe cities.
And I thought that was fascinating. I as I was going through your website, I'm like, wait a second. I don't understand. How is it that supply chain management fits in with smart cities? How does it fit in then with things like parking or whatever? But at the end of the day, it does come back to using cameras to identify things, potentially people, but mostly it appears that you're not focused on facial recognition. You're focused on things.
Right.
And then saying, okay, well, where does that fit given what the use case is here, what the pain is, what the need is that you're trying to address? And that then said, oh, okay. It's just all about visualization, capturing images, putting it into a database. Oh, okay, this is okay. This one's not okay. This is an outlier. This one fits in our. And am I oversimplifying, or is
no?
That
that's
basically
exactly.
it?
We identify. The first thing that we do, like you said, we sense through the cameras or any other sensor that we put in place. We identify in the AI level where the algorithms, the engines are at, and then we create applications, which are the actions. So you sense, you identify, and you act. That's exactly the like.
Interesting. I remember, I'm an alumnus of Brigham Young University. Sorry for all of you BYU haters out there, but I went to BYU. I still visit there from time to time. I remember it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago. I pull into the visitor parking lot, and I pull up to the kiosk, and they don't give me a little visitor thing to hang on my rear view mirror. They just said, go ahead and park anywhere. And it's not until I come back, I see this, I'll call this person an officer. They're driving this little, not a go-kart, but a little vehicle up and down the aisles. And I'm like, what are they doing? They're not writing these things. And I was like, oh, they're looking at all the license plates.
Right.
They're running against the database of all the staff, all the faculty, all the students, because you have to register your vehicle.
Yeah.
And if you're in one of those 3 groups, staff, faculty, or students, you can't park in the visitor lot. They're going to throw a ticket at you. In the meantime, they're also going to be looking to see, is there an outstanding warrant against this vehicle, whatever it's going to be,
Security,
right? I mean, that's what you're doing in essence, correct? That's a thing you're doing.
Yeah, in one of the sectors that we serve, traffic management, that we do serve universities. We got about 7 universities, coming to about 10 universities now. Yes, we do the traffic enforcement. We have the software, the user interface, together with probably the only company in the U.S. that has everything under one roof for universities, for example. The sensors, the UI, and the engine that can do that. Usually, companies like you mentioned, I know I don't want to mention names, but they do buy from us actually the machine learning, the machine vision capability to do what they do over there. And today we offer that as a one-stop shop and to universities, to school. We took it to schools as well. Why only universities? We took it to border safety as well, border control. And we protect 3 border crossing points between the U.S. to Mexico, all the borders of Israel today, to prevent terror activities, etc. We stop murders from escaping. Like you mentioned, 20 milliseconds, you can tell a lot about a vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
When you cross-check
20 milliseconds is way fast.
Yeah. And we cross-check all that information, all of that digital data that we sense, the vehicles we identify, we cross-check it with different databases, virtual databases, the federal ones, local ones, police department ones, stolen vehicles, Amber Alerts. We just about probably 3 weeks, a month ago, I was interviewed because we found, I think, probably the first technology that found a missing person. So we did that in one of our Safe City projects.
Very cool. So you're in parking lots, whether they're in a government lot, a private lot, potentially in a corporate lot, at a university or a college. You also have the ability, because of what you've mentioned already, the ability to work then in high traffic volumes, so your HOV lanes. You can also then be used, I'm assuming, in tollways, right? Mm-hmm. Toll plazas, so to speak.
We got 2 toll plazas today.
Okay, very cool.
This is growing. The momentum started.
Interesting. And then, so are you also then providing your technology on an OEM or private label basis to other companies, or are you keeping in-house? You're doing both?
We started more from the white labeling, right, through our resellers. For example, in the airports. Airports require both automation in parking lots, ticketless, gateless sometimes, and also security. And a parking lot at an airport is probably the most sensitive place. No one walks in with guns on the back to do something. They drive in. That's why we selected vehicles first, right, and connected it to individuals. And what we do is we put our sensors. We can create better service to the customer by identifying the vehicle as they enter the parking lot, take their ticket or not take their ticket. We can tell them where to park without even searching for the green, red lights on the ceiling, etc. Save a lot of money there. Even sell. This way, we allow the parking lot owners even to sell parking spaces in different prices. You want to be closer to the entrance, etc. It gives you a lot of opportunities. And so these resellers, integrators that we used initially and still are, we white label the solution, and they are the integrators that come with the kiosks, the gates, and these green lights, red lights, etc. They integrate that whole solution into a parking lot, but we provide the technology. We do have the brand name on the sensors. If you drive into Salt Lake City Airport, for example, you'll see our brand name there. We are in 47 airports today in the
47 U.S. airports. Good for you. That's really cool. Yeah, I remember when they upgraded the airport parking system here, I don't know, 10 years ago, whatever it was. And the first time I drove into the parking garage, like, oh, there's X amount of stalls open on this floor, this floor, this floor. And I'm like, wow, that's, I mean, it makes sense now. It's just natural. But back then, that was breakthrough, right? It's like, oh, there's only 8 stalls available on this floor. You want to go up to the next floor, really. So very interesting.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, then, I'm assuming then you're also supporting things like RFID tags. You have the ability to track RFID and barcodes, QR codes, all those things. You can track all of that.
Yep.
But as you already mentioned, it includes make, model, what have you, color. Interesting.
So to us, for example, we do work with scanners. We do work. That's what we call the legacy technology, which is a lot of how
There's still
people
a lot of legacy scanners out there.
a lot of our business still comes from that legacy technology. But this gave us exactly the ability. I mean, because that business line that we started about 30 years ago was one of the first integrators that do scanning and then later on RFID and Bluetooth, different wireless technology. That gave us a lot of understanding of the customer needs in supply chain automation, what they really need, what are the pain points together with Fortune 500 customers that we have today. And we are going to now migrate them slowly, but this is a huge potential growth engine for us that we started now to migrate them into the machine vision. We know the legacy, we have the legacy technology, and we have the futures technology, which now is implemented in the two other business lines. So we're migrating all of these Fortune 500 enterprises that we have, customers, to machine vision instead of just buying scanners.
So talk about, I'm looking at my notes here, and in the supply chain equipment space, which is one of your categories, right? To me, I think of that as being mostly on the business to business side. Mm-hmm. It's the back office. It's the warehouse. It's the transportation from point A to point F through K, right? Whatever it's going to be. And that includes not just in the warehouse, that includes also on the road. And mm-hmm. you have technology that does that.
Yep.
Are you, or do you anticipate moving to more of a, not customer facing, but a consumer visible type of technology? I'll give you a prime example. Grocery stores. To me, grocery store stocking seems to be one of the most inefficient things that is in the world today of business to business, business to consumer. You literally have individuals who walk down an aisle to see, are they out of stock or how low is their inventory on a shelf right now? And then they go to the back and they get the cart and they come out and they restock. And if you're talking about an organization that stocks their own shelves, like, for example, I won't name names, but like a soda bottling company, they send their own people in every day, sometimes multiple times a day, to go and restock the shelves and make sure there's enough inventory in the back. That seems like something that OMNIQ could deal with. Is that incorrect?
You just described exactly how big the potential is, because what you just described is the inefficiency that exists, which to grocery stores, which to soda factoring companies, it's hundreds of millions of dollars of spending they don't need to if they had a machine-to-machine solution that is very efficient. Now, your example, now imagine that a grocery store needs to operate like a vending machine, a very simple vending machine.
Oh, very interesting.
That's exactly how it should work. Now, to do that, you need the technology. Amazon started it, right? The Amazon Go, the smart stores.
The smart store,
exactly.
Which is really fascinating.
Fascinating. They use different technologies to do that. Machine vision is what they want to base it all on, but it still has some additional, like RFID.
You need something. If someone goes inside of it, there. Yeah.
And that is exactly how we look at. We have today as customers, and that's the secret or the special sauce of OMNIQ. We have already the customers.
Because you have the customers.
We
and
have the customers.
Software.
We serve them for 20-something years already. Albertsons and so many grocery stores, the biggest ones in the nation, we do serve them with the legacy technology already. And we have created the next gen technology that should be the machine-to-machine solution for them. We deployed it in for different use cases already, which created a lot of scalability potential plus revenue already. And now we're working exactly on what should be the exact solution for example, grocery stores. So what we did is we never look at OMNIQ to go after the 100% solution immediately. Why? Because we learned through experience that going out with 60% solution, 70% solution is good enough, because that'll be able to teach us even better instead of just trying to think about everything at first, which you can never, right? You'll be challenged still. So we already are providing to enterprises, for example, in distribution centers of grocery store chain, to manage all their entrances and exits. It's the same thing as what we do in airports. Same thing as what we do in universities. This is how everything ties up.
Well, here without, and you don't have to say if they're a customer or a prospect for you, but here in town is Nicholas and Company. Nicholas and Company is a pretty large, $100+ million, could be much bigger than that, food distributor. Mm-hmm. That's what they do, right? Well, they would need something like what OMNIQ offers today on the back end. Yeah. It would be really easy to plug it in on the front end as well.
Right.
So that makes sense. What about at checkout? Do you touch checkout today?
Absolutely.
You do.
Yeah.
Because to me, the automation can go further. There's no reason for sorry to all of you that, are grocery store clerks. Here's this, scan. Oh, you owe this much money. That could all be done by machines.
Exactly. And we do that. We created, again, we jump to the water. We are not afraid to jump to the water. We do that. We create products and we jump to the water immediately. But they are not always what's going to be, with the products we jump to the water with are sometimes a 60%, 70% solution. Right. And then we migrate slowly to the 100%. And again, that's the potential. We got self-checkout kiosks. We got self-ordering kiosks in KFC, for example. We got a lot of things that already, to the point before you mentioned, that touch directly the consumer. We even, when we have these kiosks, it allowed us to even complete more our solution in-house, for example, like credit card processing. Why not do the quick software, gateway software, instead of subcontract? Yeah. We do that. We got the people. So we are working a lot in the automation, investing a lot in the software that will allow us to provide the 100% solution that touches directly the consumer or directly our customers, the Fortune 500 enterprise.
Yeah, in business and in marketing, there's a term, an acronym of MVP, minimally viable product. And what is it that this customer needs today to say, I will make this purchase? My pain is great enough, or this pushes me further down the road than where I am today. The price is good. The service is good. I'll make this purchase today. It's not what I'd really like to have, but it's a classic bell-shaped curve, right? Yep. It's the innovators, the early adopters, early majority, late majority, and then the laggards and everything. So very interesting. So what haven't we talked about as far as what OMNIQ, without getting you in trouble with selective disclosure issues, which I understand, of course, but what else is it that OMNIQ could be doing or sees coming out with down the road? Where do you go from here?
I think that trying to look at it from an investor's point of view, what excites us today and for 4 years now when we started with the machine vision is that we start seeing the momentum. In safe cities, the solution we provide them to keep our streets safer, we already penetrated. We got about 10, probably next week already. We just came out with this product, Q Shield, in January, and we already are talking to 52 cities actually, and signed contracts with 10 coming to 17 probably this week already. It's really nice.
Are these pilots or are these
these
deployed?
Are deployed. Go.
Really?
And the momentum is started there. The traffic management, again, all the parking lots, all the airports, the universities, everything that we come with a special solution, understanding that a university needs to be secured, not only being efficient in managing parking lots. So we combine that security aspect together with the efficiency aspect and provided a complete solution. So in traffic management, we provide a complete solution. Like I said, probably one of the only companies in the US that has it under one roof. So we penetrated there. And again, like in safe cities, created the scalability opportunity in supply chain automation. we already own the customers for more than 20 years, the biggest customers in the world, and serving them with our legacy solutions for 20 years now. They trust us. They see us as the responsible people to bring to them the next gen solution, which again, based on machine vision. So what we're excited about is the situation we're positioned at today. We have the references. We serve governments. We serve private companies. We serve the biggest companies, entities in the world already. We do that very well. And it's just how fast we're going to capture the market. And that's why when you look at the numbers, you see the immediate growth that we already are showing and already will show in 2022. And that's really exciting to see how everything is evolving. And we're already in-house working on the big data analytics, what we started talking about in the beginning, how to identify the trends and come up with the next-gen products even later.
Interesting. Are you hiring?
Yes.
You are. You're hiring. How many positions do you have open right now? Ballpark?
Yeah, we got people here sitting that they can even describe that better. But yeah, we need people.
You need people right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what a pleasure. Nice to meet you today,
Nice
Shai.
well.
It's fun to discover a firm that's right here under most people's noses, doing some pretty interesting stuff that they would have never even imagined was here, and yet you're on track for $100 million plus revenue. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Here from Lehi, Utah, David Politis with Silicon Slopes Conversations. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to catching you the next time.